The state of Florida has filed a lawsuit fed up with how the Justice Department is handling the investigation into the second Trump assassination attempt. You'll remember back on September 15th, the Secret Service shot at a suspect hiding out for 12 hours behind a fence surrounding Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach, where the Republican candidate was actually playing a round of golf at the time. That suspect, Ryan Wesley Routh, faces multiple charges in connection with the attempt. He has pleaded not guilty to all of them. Joining us now, the official that brought the lawsuit, Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody. Attorney General, thanks for joining me this morning.
Of course. Great to be with you.
I wanted to play a bit of sound right off the top because I know you recently gave an interview on Fox and Friends where you said that the DOJ has frustrated the state's efforts at every step along the way. Let's take a quick listen to that.
We hoped that this day would not come, but at every turn, as we have moved forward with our investigations, they have attempted to frustrate that.
So, Attorney General, what was the straw that broke the camel's back for you in wanting to file suit?
Well, it wasn't just one thing. And I just lay a backdrop quickly. Remember, we had the first assassination attempt where someone was able to get on a roof with a clear line of sight to the president and actually shot the former president. And then within just, a few months, we had another assassination attempt where someone was able to lie in wait for 12 hours and get within a clear line of sight of 100 yards, a couple hundred yards of this president. And there were a lot of questions rightfully raised about that. In fact, the Secret Service director, after the first assassination attempt, resigned. And so when this happened in the state of Florida, I think people were saying we have to make sure that this is done in a way that is transparent to the people, that we make sure it's being done very thoroughly and that every stone is overturned. And when Governor DeSantis rightfully issued an executive order making sure that we were fully pursuing state law crimes, immediately we started getting pushback when we were trying to collect evidence and further that investigation. And they kept referring to a statutory provision that if in fact they charged it, and of course they hadn't at the time, if in fact they charged it, would suspend local and state jurisdiction purportedly. And so, from our various conversations, we felt like it left us with no choice, especially when the federal government finally came in and said, we are invoking this, we're suspending state jurisdiction.
You bring up transparency. I think voters across the country are wondering why this whole process hasn't been more transparent. You had 2 assassination attempts in one summer. And, the first one was at a rally, and you have so many Americans attending these rallies every day in this home stretch. Have you gotten any word on why it's been so hard to get clarity or answers here?
Yeah, and I think, and that's one of the reasons I believe that this is so short-sighted by the DOJ and Merrick Garland. Look, I was a federal prosecutor before my life led me to become a judge and the Attorney General. I understand the nature of the federal investigatory authorities working hand in hand with the state officials. That is common. We do that. That is why this is so short-sighted, especially when you have the investigating agencies that are the same that are pursuing the assassination attempt are the same agencies that are investigating the former president and other matters. So, of course, having a dual track investigation with the state working hand in hand, that should be a no-brainer at this point.
How
Certainly
egregious
not
of a
pushed
conflict?
to the point where we have to file suit.
How egregious of a conflict of interest is that? Have you ever seen that before?
There are so many things taking place right now in our country's history that we have not seen as it relates to the executive branch, a president, and the justice system. And I could go on and list all of the cases that have been brought and why many of them I feel were, kind of trumped up, no pun intended, but kind of, risen to a level and brought that would have never been brought in any other situation. And so I think there's a lot going on right now. And I can tell you this personally, being in the criminal justice system my entire professional life, I think everyone, not just lawyers, but others are just amazed at how this has unfolded, which is why I have said since this happened, the second assassination attempt, which is why you would want an independent investigatory agencies or multiple to work with you in this process and pursue this investigation in a way that people could feel comfortable with.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.